everything. Give us an idea. How does your constituency look like?
Yo, Senna, thank you. The truth is that let me just give you a picture of the Eastern region because Afram Plains North is classified under the Eastern region. And the Eastern region has a total of 33 constituencies. But in terms of land, when you look on the Ghana map and you demarcate the region, that is the Eastern region, 1/3 of the Eastern region is Afram Plains North in terms of land. And so if we have a total of 33 constituencies in the whole of Eastern region, and the land divided by 3, Afram Plains constitute 1, then it gives you an idea of how large and, massive the place is. Not only on land, it also has a majority of its population settled on the water lake. So we have over 222 communities on the water lake. Apart from that, we have a total of 575 communities that is constituting the Afram Plains North constituency as a whole. And so that gives you an idea. So if the Electoral Commission decides to even designate the registration to polling stations, I have a total of 127 polling stations. It means that it's still barely not enough for people to be able to transport themselves up and down. Because it means that we have at least about 6 communities that falls under one polling station. So in the end, we still have to transport people around on the lake and on land to be able to register. And now come to think of it, the Electoral Commission has decided to limit their registration centers to the district offices, which is in Afram Plains North, which is exactly in Donkokrom. Now, the last end of my constituency, which is Chita on the Water Lake, that is, when you check again on the Ghana map, that is on the Duja Government Reserve, you have to travel not less than 10 hours on the lake to come to the river bank, which is Bridgeano. And then you travel not less than 25 kilometers on the road to get to the district capital. And so that is the description of how my constituency is. And so anybody, any young person who is within the ages of 18, 19, 20, who really deems that, he wants to execute or his constitutional right by going out there to register, will have to travel for not less than a day to be able to have access to this his basic right. And so that is what we are forced to deal with at the moment. So far, the registration has been extremely challenging. The first day of registration, the whole of Afram Plains North were able to register only one person. Only one person.
The entire Afram Plains North?
Yes.
One person?
We were only able to register.
Was that the only person who turned up there, or the people turned up and didn't have the opportunity to?
Well, that is another side of it. Within Donkokrom, some people turn out. Unfortunately, because of network connectivity, because of the Electoral Commission, or as usual, using very bad network connectivity, we were able to register only one person. And then subsequently, while the people we have to manage and find ways and means to transport the people from far and near to be able to come to the district. As I speak to you now, we have a number of young people who came in. They traveled. We had to transport them since yesterday. But the Electoral Commission office was so flooded, they couldn't register all the people, so we had to provide them with accommodation. We have to find places for them to sleep. We have to provide them with feeding, so that to this morning we are hoping that the Electoral Commission will be able to facilitate the process and get these young people registered. My problem is, if you have a son, if you have a daughter who has just turned 18 years, to subject that child through this long, cumbersome processes in order to get a voter's ID card. I mean, the incidents can be many. The incidents can be many. If you have an 18-year-old daughter who is going out there without any proper supervision, I mean, traveling over 10 hours, traveling sometimes 12 hours to go just to get a voter's ID card. I think it is an issue that we all need to be concerned about and be discussing. And I appreciate the Radio Gold for bringing the subject up this very morning.
And I guess this terrain is not new to the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission has been holding elections in your constituency since the beginning of the Fourth Republic. So they know how this constituency works. And yet you're saying that not even your constituency, which has this exceptional situation, has gotten an extra registration center, perhaps where you know that the people will find it difficult to access the district. Nothing like that?
Absolutely nothing like that. Indeed, like you rightly stated, the Electoral Commission is very much aware of the situation, I must say, because for the record, Afram Plains North is the only district in Ghana that the Electoral Commission distributes ballots or electoral materials by airlifting. And so over the years, the Electoral Commission is unable to access our island communities unless they have to transport the materials through helicopter delivery. And so I'm very certain by these processes, the Electoral Commission is very much aware. Again, I also filed a petition to the Office of the Electoral Commission, of which last week I got a call from the chairperson of the Electoral Commission in the person of Madam MENSAH, admitting the challenges of Afram Plains North and stating that unfortunately the situation was beyond their control. However, giving us the assurance that there was the possibility of doing a mop-up come next year to ensure that communities on the island were captured. However, she was apologetically, expressing that this particular exercise, it is beyond her control and that she will not be able to create either more registration centers for our limited registration exercise. Again, she made it very clear that she recognizes and acknowledges the challenges of the Afram Plains, and yet. So my question is, we have the local government, that is the assembly election that will be coming up in December. And so if the Electoral Commission is hereby apologizing and insisting that next year they're going to do a mop-up, it's clear that they in one way or the other, they're just trying to disenfranchise the ordinary Ghanaian, or they are not living up to their mandates as the Constitution has mandated them to do. Because, of course, for her to openly admit that they recognize the challenges of Afram Plains, however, there was little or nothing they could do about it at this very exercise.
Did she tell you about the situation that she said was out of, beyond her control? Did she explain what she meant by that?
No, she didn't state that. Indeed, I requested that this admission should be put officially, because I actually petitioned her office. She has acknowledged receipt of my petition, and then she followed it up with a call. And so I insisted if she can put it on an official letter, so at least I can then communicate same to the good people of Afram Plains that, look, the numerous calls that have been placed through my office has been sent to the Electoral Commission's department. However, this is their response. So I'm still waiting for an official communique.
Interesting. Now, you said that the EC usually airlifts materials. Does it include even the personnel that to the areas of the constituency which they consider unreachable?
Most often they do.
And I'm guessing Honorable Betty Crosby Mensah is not that rich. So rich to airlift people from that constituency to Donkokro?
Not at all. I tell you what, currently my team and I did a small budget focusing on the inland communities. If we are supposed to transport, accommodate, and feed them, we have a budget no less than 150,000 Ghana cedis. And I can't continue to do that. Even with the challenge of network connectivity also being a disadvantage. So 1 minute you are transporting so many people at a time, they come to the electoral office and there's a challenge of network with their machines. Other times, even when the Electoral Commission decides to operationalize the activities at the branch level or at the polling station level, most of it, the challenge has been lack of electrification. And so that also add a cost where I often have to hire generators across the district in order to support the Electoral Commission or any such organization that is into any registration exercise.
So either way you're spending money, just that
Either
the
way,
former one is less expensive.
Yeah. But yes, the former one is less expensive. At least the people are secured, they are safe in their homes, they are assured, or of having their 3 square meal in their homes and the security of their environment. Those are some of the things that we can count on. But either way, I still spend money. And so I'm just happy Radio Gold is doing this. I'm just not leaving it to just me. I'm calling on everybody, all political parties, both NDC and especially the NDC, to come on board, because you cannot leave this exercise to just one person to handle. It is just beyond one person's ability to handle it all.
I can imagine. So if you decide to bring somebody all the way from, did you say the Dija Government Reserve?
Yes.
If you decide to bring somebody all the way from there to Donkokrom, it means that the person has to travel by river for 10 hours. Is it
right,
an extra 25 kilometers to Donkokrom?
On the road, yes, sir.
So if you do that, it means that you are responsible for any risk during the transportation.
That is true, especially in the time when we are experiencing so much rainfall. I just had a call from one of my polling stations, and the people are a little, they are holding back because of the weather condition as well. So it's simply not one of the best arrangements, if I must say. It's simply not one of the best arrangements.
Oh, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you for your time.
And I'm sure we'll have a conversation with you subsequently before this exercise.
Please, I'm always available when it comes to issues concerning the good people of Afram. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Honorable Betty Crosby, MENSAH'S Member of Parliament for Afram Plains North. Just imagine, 10 hours let's say by boat. Whatever mode you use. So maybe some people use canoe. So imagine the kind of risk you are taking, saying that I am transporting people for 10 hours on a river. So if you are transporting, let's say, somebody who is 18 years old, 19 years old, you take the person from their parents' home, 10 hours on the river alone. So you're going to like a day to move the person. So what if something happens during that travel? So it's dangerous. What we are doing.
That is correct.
It's very dangerous
because you are the leader.
Yes.
Just like it's happening in North Town.
No, even in North Town, where the journey is a bit shorter.
Yeah, that one is like
when you are
50
on the
minutes.
Volta River.
Yeah,
anything can happen. If something happens, people will say,
honorable. Yeah.
When all he is doing is trying to help the situation, make it better. The EC, I don't know what kind of game they are playing, but it's a dangerous game.
Very, very dangerous. Anything can happen.
Now, also, I can say, electoral commission for the plea
the day that we went there, some of the journalists were not even ready to just use the canoe through it. They were not ready.
I haven't used. I grew up with canoe, but I haven't sat in a canoe in a long time. Well, let me again say a big thank you to Betika and of course Awake Purified Drinking Water. They are the sponsors of our callings and comment segment. I know I haven't picked your calls in a while. Today I was planning to, but it looks like other things have overtaken us anyway.